Hello, today I'm going to do a tour of the Komment AI My Docs dashboard. So we start off on the app and go to My Docs here. You can see the projects that I have that are enabled for the My Docs feature. So if I go into one of these, then I have a full overview of the project and I can drill down into files to see how they're currently documented. Each file has a description of what the file itself does, what the class does, and where possible there's a diagram showing how this class interrelates to the rest of the project. Things it pulls in via imports, things that can extend from it. Further down you can get into more detail on exactly the interface of the class, what parameters or methods are available, and then each parameter has its own description of what it represents within the code. This is done across all the compatible files in the project. In here I have some files that aren't yet documented. Here's one that is. It's the authentication controller for this, and again it has a detailed breakdown of the imports and how it relates to the rest of the project, and descriptions of the methods that you can call and usage examples that give you a copy pastable code that you can then use to get started immediately. Anyone who has access to the project has access to these documents, and you can search immediately by jumping in to the search box and pulling out anything you like. There's another file here that isn't yet documented, so I'll bring that one up. Let's see, the amenity controller. So from here I can instantly just hit process and that will start documenting just that one file. It's also possible to trigger a documentation process on the entire repo, but for this case we're just looking for this to be documented itself. As it runs, we'll see an update of the functions that have been discovered, what's been commented, and so on. This might take a few moments. The file has now been documented and the updates have been pushed straight back to GitHub. So we can go here and we can see what's changed. We have comments for each of the methods, and more importantly, this file authentication controller will now turn up here. Oh, amenity controller. There we are. Fully documented. This was quite a complex file, but you can see the breakdown again and how that relates to other things in the project. As you can see, these are generated fresh, so we can go back to the previous one we looked at, the authentication controller, and I'll show you an example of editing this and making sure we have live documentation that is accurate. So if I edit this file and I take out, say, the login method and commit that change back, then the webhook will automatically pick that up and start processing that file. Once it's processed, then the docs generated in My Docs will be again fresh, exactly matching the changes to the code. Almost pushed. There we are. So there's a change made here. So then if we go into the authentication controller that we just edited, then we should be able to see authentication. We've got the diagram there, and the login method has been removed. So the documents are entirely up to date, and again, anyone on the project can see the latest fresh documentation.